and welcome to Little Workroom Crafts. This is episode 15 and my name is Davina and I live in the southeast coast of the UK. As you can see, it's a beautiful day today, and today is Tuesday. I know I normally record on a Wednesday, but tomorrow I have got a phone call that I've got to deal with in the morning, so unfortunately it would have been too much of a rush and I didn't want to do that. It actually is 10 to 9 in the morning, and yeah, good day. Feels like a good day. So it's beautiful. We've all got short sleeves on now. So lucky really. I know with all the isolation and everything that's going on that it is actually bright outside, because we can get out in the gardens and, you know, always think of a positive over the negative. That's what I say. Anyway, we've got a lot to talk about. I know it's only been a fortnight, but wow, I didn't realise how busy I've actually been. But there you go. And I've got more going on in the background that I haven't been showing you. So we've got knitting today. We've got EPP, which is English paper piecing. We've got a little bit of sewing, hand and machine, and I've got a couple of little bits that's come through on the post as well. And I've even taken up 2 pages to write me show notes. Also at the end, because I've been asking about my my sourdough. So I'll explain a little bit what I've got planned in my head, what I'm going to do at the end. Okay then, let's get into the crafty stuff, shall we? Right then, knitting first. So I haven't actually got a complete finished object, but nearly as. My Rebecca, the second from last time that I've seen her, because as you all know, she's a mental health nurse, so I can't see her at the moment, which is really, really hard. But, you know, love you, sweetie. I do miss you. So, but not last time I saw her, but the time before. She came, met me from work, and then we came home here and had a lovely overnight stay like we often do. And when she came into work, she picked some yarn for me to knit her another pair of socks, because she do like my homemade socks. So she picked this West Yorkshire Spinners. Very Rebecca colours, nice and bright and rainbowy. And I know on their website they name them, but actually on the ball bands they don't. So this is colour, so this, I did this before, didn't I? This 06875, I think I said dye lot. Well, anyway, it's yeah, I can't find a single number on there at all. Anyway, this is the yarn she chose, and I've got 2 tubes. One of them I finished, excuse me, I finished last night. And she doesn't like things matching at all, because I did say to her, do you want me to actually match the stripes? Because everybody else says I match the stripe. No, she goes. So I'll be putting the heels in actually this morning. I'll be cutting in and putting those in for her. And then I thought to myself, when I was finishing off last night, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to, make us a few bits, and then the next time when I do see her, because obviously, we are all going to see our loved ones, we, there's going to be like a little, a package of all little goodies that she can have. Yesterday when I was, watching some YouTube podcasts, one popped up that I don't follow. And normally I didn't know them, but and she was making scrunchies, and my Rebecca loves scrunchies that she wears to work, so I thought I'd make her some scrunchies, and she'll have her socks, and I'll do some other little bits and bobs as well. So yeah, I think they've knitted up really, really well. As normal, I do like my West Yorkshire Spinners. I do my vanilla socks with 2.5mm circulars, the 8-inch minis on Addies. If I find that I want to put a pattern in, I do go up to my 9-inch chargoos, because I've got a little bit more of a point on the end, so I find it a little bit easier to get in and out of the stitch to do a pattern. But these were just 8-inch 2.5s Addies, and 60 stitches, because we both got the same size feet. But I will say, I'm going to diverse a bit, but when it comes to her not wearing the matching, right from when she has actually been able to dress herself, even if I paired up her socks, she would never ever wear a pair of socks. Never in a million years. And she still don't now. So was it last year? No, it wasn't, the year before for Christmas. I actually knitted her an odd pair of socks, if you know. She loved them, absolutely loved them. So I don't know what it is with her and odd socks. I just don't know. But the odder they are, the better they are. So I'm going to think of something really outrageous to put as a heel that's probably not going to go with any of else going on, but I know she'll love them anyway. So yeah, there's her socks. Also, I have been knitting, and this is the only thing now I actually have on the needles. A bit of my shawl. I am halfway through the numbers of the yarn, because there's 12 skein, you know, mini skeins, and I'm on number 7 now, I think, or 6. So I'm loving this, absolutely loving it. And after I've done this one, I am actually going into the purples and pinks, which has been the bit I've been waiting for. But I'm really enjoying this. And as I say, that is the only thing I have on the needles. It's a bit sad, really. I might have to cast on a pair of socks later, actually. So yeah, that's all my knitting. That is actually all the knitting, because that's all I've really got. But there is some other stuff. So now we will go on to the English paper piecing. Now, as you will see in a moment, oh, sorry, I tell a lie. No, it's not English paper piecing. It's cross stitch next. Right, so that does make sense. Right then, I'm going to say to everybody, go onto Instagram and go onto hashtag Be Well and Stitch, all lowercase, okay? Be Well and Stitch. There is some American, I think they're mainly American designers that have lovingly and so generously given out some free patterns. I have obviously, you know, downloaded and printed off a couple, but there is a couple that I have actually stitched already this fortnight. We'll go with this one first, actually. This one is a hands-on designs. You all know how I love my hands-on designs, and she has done this Choose Happy Be Well. This one here is such an easy stitch. I started it at, say, just before tea time in the afternoon and finished it that evening. I can't quite decide what I'm going to do with it as yet. I didn't do all the colours because I haven't got them, but do you know what I mean? It's in a way, it's you know, I've just taken stuff out of my stash that I already had, and this is what I'm doing, and yeah, I think it's worked out fine. This one I have actually initialed and put the year on there, but I don't know whether to make it into a little project bag or a cushion, you know, a little pillow to put somewhere, or I don't know. I will think of something though, what I'm going to finish it off with. Now, the other one is My Rose Cottage. Now, this is a beautiful chart. It was lovely to follow. It really was. As you can see, I haven't actually done on my piece. I'll show you in a minute. I didn't actually put the ABC at the top because I've got other plans. So, let's get my piece. I actually found in my stash, it's a bit grubby actually, in my stash, a piece of, well, I think it's like an even weave or cloth. Normally I'm an Ada person. I love my Ada, I always have. And I thought, well, no, I'm going to try something different because this is the year to try something different for me. And I just did the 3 little sheep. And then if you notice on the grass, I have done some little French knots. Now, this piece is going to be something for me, and something special that I've got in my head that I've got to work around and see if it works or not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly add a picture of what I laid out yesterday and started, and yeah, and then I'll be back in. Okay, welcome back. So did you see then I've got the cross stitch in the middle, and then I've got the little hexagons all around the outside. Now, a few years ago when I actually started work, I went and got Moda into the shop, really, and because of you know, being the first year into this, you know, the 5 shops and so on, they gave me a Christmas box, and in the Christmas box there was a load of, you know, I dished it so much out to other members of staff, obviously, but there was these little, what they called, the little 2-inch charms. Mine's gone blank. Anyway, and I've had them in a little plastic box, and I've been I've just kept them, and I say that is years ago. So I thought, oh no, I'm going to get them out because they do look very similar to what I'd like in this to turn out to be. So as you see, the little hexagons, I'm actually using some of these 2-inch squares, and all pre-cut, which is very handy, so I don't have to cut anything down. I'm just covering up. Let me get one. Here we go. See, look, I'm just covering them up, so I haven't even got to cut them down. And there we go. So I've got to put that back because they're all in order. Ooh, that goes there. And this is what you would have seen already sewn up. I've got everything else all sorted. And as I say, bear with me on this one. I might get it done within the next fortnight, but then again, I might not, because I say I've got a lot of other things doing. So yeah, that was a lovely stitch. Say another free pattern. Please go over to hashtag Be Well and Stitch, all lowercase. There is hundreds over there for people to choose and download, and which I've said it's free for people that are staying in and to keep them busy. Even if you haven't tried cross stitch, this one here, it's got no back stitch, no fractional stitches or anything. It's just whole cross stitches, and it was just an easy stitch. It's very good for beginners, some of them. Okay then, so now we'll carry on with the English paper piecing. As you all know, I have been with my little box having my station, and I have added a little thing. Now I've got some cotton reels which I brought from work a few months ago now, and I thought, oh well, I did Debbie for Christmas, didn't I? I did her the pin cushion with the scissor, what's that? But anyway, I thought I'm always losing my scissors, so I got one of the cotton reels, painted it all up to match the box in the blue, and I got some just some cotton tape with a decoration in it, added a couple of buttons here, and I bought felt so it doesn't mark anything on the table or anything, and I did put some felt at the top so it actually protects the scissors when they're going in. And I tell you what, I was using this yesterday, and it's so much better because I could just plonk it back in, pull it out whenever I need my scissors. So I actually am really pleased with the way this has turned out. I think that's, oh, hang on, I don't think I'd got this finished. Let's take this out for my last. I know I've done a tutorial. Oh, damn, don't swear, Davina. I've done a tutorial of me making this, and I also have made a little mini quilt. There we go, a little mini quilt there to sit at the bottom, all with the hexagons, so it's all, all together now. And I'll just come up with things that I just think that I might want to add to my little workstation. But it's so handy because I've got everything in here. Oh, sorry about that, it's my pencil box. Everything in there, and obviously I'm using my little case. I love that little case. And yeah, it seems to be working really well. It really does. But I must admit, I have just seen on Instagram before starting doing this recording that Emma from Vintage Sewing Box has put up on there this beautiful hexagon storage like workstation that she's made. So I'm looking forward to that pattern coming out, Emma. I can't wait. So yeah. Oh dear me, I'll be definitely making one of those. So okay then, now we're going to go over to the no, we're not actually, because this is all related, so I will stick with what I'm doing. So as I said on my last podcast, or was it my tutorial, I can't remember, that I tried an Aurifil thread, 50 weight, and I brought the sand colour. Can you see that? Yep. Okay, right, I brought the sand colour and I do like it, I must admit. I know I like my my Metla 60 weight, and I will carry on using that as well, but the 50 in the Aurifil is lovely, absolutely lovely. So what I did is I went on to my friend Nancy, who is Lena Patchwork. Can you see that? Why ain't you focusing today? You're normally pretty good. Oh, damn. Right, okay. Anyways, Nancy's Lena Patchwork. She's English paper piecing shop, and she's in the south of the UK. Everything is done and cut here. I always use her papers. Her papers are absolutely brilliant. And at the moment on her Aurifil, she has a set price for each spool, or 3 for £10. And I thought, ideal, I will go for that. So I got the light, the medium, and this is called a brown black. This is brilliant. This is what I've been putting those hexagons together with, and you can't see a thing. So now when I pop my sand in, I do actually have my 4, because I did say on my tutorial you can have 3 or 4 you know, shades of fawn, and these are going to be my go-to, because I'm going to be able to stitch them, you know, round to my round my sheep and so on. But also in the little package, she always gives a little freebie of papers, and this time I got 2-inch 60 degree triangles. Yeah, you know what I mean. And even in this times, you know, they did come quickly, and yeah, I'm really pleased. I'm really pleased. So she does all the shows normally when they're going ahead in the UK, and that's where I've got most of my papers from her. And but now I definitely will be using the Aurifil as well as the Metla. But yeah, yet again, that is Nancy, and yeah, Lena Patchwork. Definitely go over and have a look at her. Well worth it. Another thing I actually did get into. Oh, where are you? Oh, don't say I've left it downstairs. Oh, I bet I have. Oh, that was really good, having a workstation, isn't it? And leaving the stuff downstairs. I actually, what I'll do is I'll pop a photograph of it. I went and brought from the Lonely Knitter her hand balm. I will say it is amazing stuff. I got the natural, and I think she does 2 other you know, like fragrances, but I will say it is brilliant stuff, absolutely brilliant. Yeah, you put it on, because obviously at the moment with us washing our hands so many times a day, that they're really, you know, suffering. I think that's when you know you're actually getting the job done properly, when you're actually getting bad hands. But what I will say is that this hand balm is amazing, absolutely brilliant. You know, you put it on, and then it just, there's no grease, there's no nothing, and it's brilliant. So I think I know why I have got it downstairs, is in my bowl, in my yarn bowl, I think. Where have I got it in here? No, I must have it downstairs. Okay, I'll definitely put a photograph of it in, and yeah, so just so you can see it. And she is the Lonely Knitter. She is you know, over the pond, as they say, over in the Suffolk area, I think. But brilliant, absolutely brilliant stuff. I would definitely recommend getting that. Also, as I have said, that there is a lot out there that are actually giving free patterns out for, you know, people that are isolating. And this one I come across, I was so happy that I had the stuff in my stash to make her. Now, this is Miss Maggie Rabbit. Okay, and this is by Alicia Paulison, and Posy is the company. So there's her little logo. But isn't she adorable? And she was so simple to make. This is my version. I have stuck a little bow because I do like a little bow on their ears. But look at the little boots. They're just so adorable. And I just put a little bit of lace around the bottom of her gown. And what I have done with mine is I actually did it because I didn't have enough of this to do the dress in one colour. So I have actually done a different colour sleeves, so it makes it look like she's got a little blouse underneath a pinafore really. But she was so much fun to make, and as I say, it's a free pattern, and I think it's still up there for free. And so she was so simple to make. The instructions are brilliant. The only bit that actually is sewn on the machine is the dress. Everything else on her is done by hand, absolutely everything. So she sits in my little trough with all my English paper piecing bits, but eventually I will find her a little home, permanent home up here somewhere, so she can sit, even though the little whiskers. I just thought it was brilliant to make. It really was a lot of fun. So yeah, definitely head over, and would definitely recommend this. And as I say, it's a free pattern anyway. Okay then, now there's one more other pattern that this one I have brought, and oops, let's move over here. Yet again, it's Emma from the Vintage Sewing Box. I've mentioned her just a moment ago, and this is, well, it is a paid for pattern, so I can only show you so much. But what I'm saying is, I don't know if you'll be able to see that with my printer, but it's a hexagon, and quite a large hexagon. And let me see if there's a picture of, I think there was a picture of the inside that I might be able to show you. Oh dear. Right, yeah, okay, let's see. And then you open it up, and then it is like a case, a sewing case for your English paper piecing. And I will say it's a large size, but I'm really looking forward to making this. I really am. So hopefully when I get some other little bits and bobs that I've got that I'm doing, and I'll get them you know, I'll get into this. I really will. And the fun part obviously is choosing all the fabrics out of my stash, which will be a lot of fun. And yeah, well worth getting this, because like it's all this lot, you know what I mean? So it is definitely, you know, worth every penny of the pattern. So it's Emma, and it's the Vintage Sewing Shop. If you go over, she's got some other lovely patterns as well. But yeah, her hexagon sewing case is seems to be a popular one. And also on a Friday at 9 o'clock, she does a live Facebook. It was so funny actually, because I was there and I was knitting on Rebecca's socks, and she was Emma was there doing her you know, her sewing, and you know, people were coming in and out and sending her messages, and all of a sudden up on the screen there was one of my friends. So that was really funny. I'm thinking, oh, I recognise that name. And then after we'd finished after, you know, Emma had done her live stream, and then my friend and I started talking so, on Instagram as well. I thought that was so funny. I did really. You know, you're sitting there, all of a sudden your friend pop up. I thought that was really cool. Also in the sewing, because as a lot of us knitters do, we like to collect our badges. Now, I don't have that many compared to some, but I do have some. And I kept saying to Glenn I'd like a pennant or somewhere to, you know, some way of hanging them up. And I've made this pennant and I've got nowhere in the room to hang the blooming thing. Well, anyway, right, you know, I'll find somewhere. So I've kind of just made up this this pennant, and what I did is I put my a knit needle as my hanger, and what I've done differently is I've folded it over, and I've actually fixed it down with buttons because I like my buttons. But yeah, so I've got a few on there, but and it's nice because like this one here is for what Ange and I got, and this one, these two here, what Ange and I got at Edinburgh. The pom-pom ones we got when we went to Unravel. You know, so there is a lot, yeah, again, oh, this one here is my friend Deb's at work, bless her. She went to the big trade show and brought me back this one because she knew I'd started collecting them. So yeah, you know. Oh, what I have got to get, I must admit, is I've got Ellie's, her original badge, but I would like one of her metal pins. I must admit, yeah, I'll have to get one of those to put on there. So, but yeah, I'm really pleased with that. I've got to find somewhere to hang it up. So I'm really pleased with the way that turned out. So I've done the post thing. I've done what I've been sewing. I'm trying to think of what else. Yes. Now, what I'm going to say is because I upload on an Instagram, you know, pictures of, like we all do, of what's been going on in our lives. And I make sourdough, and like I've got we all name them because they are little living things, and you put them to sleep in the fridge. And when mine's called Didier, that's my brother's nickname, so it's after my brother. Bless him. And I've had a lot of people asking about what recipe do I use and so on. But you know, what I do is literally, honestly, it's a bloomin' mess. I'm going to have to rewrite it out. But this is literally what I follow. Because over the time I have changed it, added it, and now I've got it right. That's why there's scribbles here. That's what I tried and didn't work. But this little bit of paper here, I definitely have got to write this out a bit better, is what I do for my sourdough. Okay, so as I say, I've got my mother out the fridge, so Diddy out of the fridge at the moment. I got him out yesterday and I warm him up. And then after I've finished doing this, I'm going to go downstairs and then I'm going to start the first process. Now, I like to do mine over 3 days, maybe longer. Mind you, being the weather is heating up, I probably won't have to do it as long as the 3 days, or perhaps I can get it out of the 2. But what I'm thinking of doing is, as I say, I'm going to go downstairs now and get him started on another loaf, and I'm going to record. Okay, I will write down everything. I will put up on the screen all what I use and what I how much of it I use and so on, and I'm going to video making my sourdough. So if you've got a starter, now my starter I did get, it's a lady, I can't remember for the life of me, she was on Google. I just Googled starter, sourdough starter. Now all I do remember is she called hers George. So if you can find a lady that, you know, calls hers George, that will be her. The only thing I do different is because obviously I don't agree with plastic use or nothing like that. So rather than using bottled water, I actually use tepid water that I've boiled out of my kettle. And as you can see, touch wood, I have results, and I even use that for when I make my my loaves. So if you could find, just Google sourdough starter. Now it is in American, so obviously it's all in American. Now when she actually starts off with a all-purpose flour, I think it was, I just use plain. That's our equivalent over here. And I say, I didn't use the bottled water. I you know, used a lukewarm water that I boiled out of the kettle. And yeah, and then do her process, because, you know, for me it worked. So do her process, and then after you've got your actual your starter all up and ready, and I am going to put up this video. Say I'll start it today, and then if it's as good as I want it to be, and you'll see that on the video, and then I'll start doing all my stretch and folds, and then I'm going to go do it right from putting it in the oven and to getting it out of the oven, and that's going to be a whole video. Now I'm hoping that so it's Tuesday today, so yeah, it will be up by the end of the week. Definitely be up by the end of the week. Fingers crossed this loaf will work. As I say, normally I don't have any problems. But because this is being recorded, you can imagine there's bound to be something go wrong. But like my friend Emma, who's now I always get this wrong. Curly Stitch, no, Curly Stitch. She's got a podcast. I always forget what it's called. Oh dear. Oh, she's gonna really go, Davina. Anyway, she works for the same company as I do, family run business, but she works in the shop at Salisbury, and she was trying to do the sourdough. She already had her starter already done, and she phoned me up at work actually when we were working, because we ain't now at the moment, and said, so I did actually message over what I do and blah blah blah, and her first loaf after following this luckily came out brilliant, because I said to Glenn, oh, I hope it works for her, I really do. But it did. And what I will do actually is I will definitely put the name of her podcast on the screen. Sorry, Emma. But yeah, so I'm definitely going to do it. So bear with me on this one, and it will be up by the end of the week. And I'm going to do full process of and record how I make my sourdough. Okay? For anybody that is interested. Okay. So what I will say as well, I'm getting now to the end of the podcast, is thank you ever so much for all my comments, all my likes and my subscriptions. We're 326, 5, I think it was last time I looked a couple of days ago. So we're really growing. It's really brilliant. And thank you, Sarah, for getting in contact with me and being understanding about the giveaway. You know, when everything is back to normal-ish, I will, you know, be able to go into the post office and get it all sent off to you, your prize. But thank you ever so much for getting in contact with me. And just thank you all generally. You know, you are such a loving group of people, and crafters are. I think that's where we are very lucky, that we do actually have something to keep our hands going. And I always say, happy hands, happy mind. You know, it's you know, it's the way it is, isn't it, really? So I am going to say goodbye now, because in just over an hour I have my lovely friend Ange, who you've all heard about loads of times, and we're having a good old FaceTime. And also as well, it's been this, in a way, there is positives. That's what I'm saying, there is positives. You know, after speaking to a lovely friend of mine on Instagram for months and months and months and months, and then it was last Friday, I think, you know, Viv from Sit and Knit with Vivette, and I had our first face-to-face, you know, on FaceTime, and it was brilliant, absolutely brilliant, such a lovely lady, and, you know, it was really good fun. So now, you know, the communication amongst us, I think, is getting a bit more personal than what it was just on messages, you know, because we can do this. I am also thinking, if anyone is interested, I know that Elliot Craft House Magic and say Vit from Sit and Knit with Vivette is definitely on board. I'm thinking in the next few weeks I will let everybody know that I'm gonna have, like, I would say a knit night, but you know, I'm a craft podcast, so it's going to be a craft night, okay, and doing it over Zoom, so we can all sit together and do our sewing, our knitting, our cross stitch, or whatever we decide to do, and we can all sit and communicate. So it's going to be like a craft night, you know, rather than a knit night. But yeah, bear with me on that one, and let me know if anybody is interested, so we can actually all get together and you know, meet everybody, you know, face to face, which is really good. So I reckon that will be a good laugh. I know on Zoom you get 40 minutes, I think. But if anybody else have an account, and because let's face it, us crafters can talk, as you can see. But yeah, so we can, you know, anybody else got an account, and then perhaps we can go on to another one and get more time out of the... So we look like we've gone over our 40 minutes. That's the way I'd say we could do it. But yeah, so leave that one with me, and I am definitely going to do that. I think that would be a good thing to do. So also as well, I have got a couple of books in the post that are coming to me, because on Easter Monday, all the times for this to happen, I'm 50. So yeah, so everything that had actually been organised by my lovely daughter, bless her, hasn't been cancelled. It's just been postponed. That's all. That's the way we're looking at it. You know, obviously, you know, she had a lot planned, bless her, but you know, because we can't do it on the day, we'll just do it another time. So that's fine. And you know, yeah. Anyway. My mind's gone now after saying that. So yeah, so it is my birthday over Easter, and as I say, you know, it's going to be a bit of a lonely one, but hey ho. But Glenn, as I asked Glenn if he'd get me the book, oh, and I haven't written it down, the one that's you know, knitting through history of knitting in the UK. That's going to bug me now. Anyway, so yeah, we ordered it and it's on its way. So I'll be getting that on my birthday, because I do a lot of reading, And what I have also decided to do as well, because I'm a bit blabbering now, is obviously I can't get out and do my charity shop finds, you know, which I am missing really badly. So what I'm going to do, because years ago in the 70s, when I was, you know, born and growing up, we had jumble sales over here in the UK, and I used to go to a lot of them. And even then I used to pick up craft stuff. It just must be something in me that I just, you know, craft stuff. So I've got a lot of bits that I've picked up right from when I was a child right to now, and it's not just like kits and stuff like that and fabric like I get now. It is the tools that we use, but they're really old. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a new section on my next one, where it is things that I found years ago that I picked up, that I saw with my child eyes, as they say, and looking at it now, and I think, wow, I'm, you know, what I thought, you know, I obviously knew what it was, but why I brought it, I just don't know. But anyway, you know what I mean, it's they're lovely. I've kept them all, and even when I was traveling through the 90s and I traveled all around, you know, Germany and Canada and all that lot, and I took them all with me. A bit sad, really, bless. But and I've got some really old crochet magazines. And these the magazines are that old that it's not on the shiny paper you get now. They're actually like on newspaper, but unfortunately I can't find a date in them. But the adverts, oh my word. So yeah, I'm going to get all them out, and I'm going to start that in my next one. So it is stuff that I've picked up when I was younger up till now, which is craft, like tools and related and all things like that. Right then, now, shut up, Davina. I think you've had enough of blabbering now. So it's, I'm going to go down and do my sourdough now. And as I say, Ange is going to be FaceTiming me in an hour's time. So I'm going to go and get Diddy up and running. And yeah, so everybody, please stay safe. Please stay at home, and happy crafting. Take care. Bye-bye.